Veterans and homelessness should never be in the same sentence, and yet men and women who bravely served our country are living on the streets they fought to protect. I'm joined now by Shalimar Cabrera, the Executive Director of U.S.VETS Las Vegas. Thank you for talking with me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. So let's start at the very beginning. First off, what made you want to get involved and ultimately be a part of U.S.VETS?
Oh, thank you for that question. It's been a long time. I've been here for almost 19 years. And, the original intention for myself was really to make a difference and make impact. I knew I wanted to get into a helping profession. And it really aligns with my purpose in life of giving back to the community. But also I'm a granddaughter of two World War II veterans. So they were the first veterans in my life. And, I think all of us can agree, whether you know somebody directly who served, can agree with what our organization believes, which is that no one who has ever served in our country's military should have to find themselves homeless and sleeping on the streets that they fought to defend. I mean, it's a tragedy in our country. And so this organization, serves so many veterans across the country to help end veteran homelessness.
Yeah, and that's a good segue. So for those that maybe not be familiar with U.S.VETS, can you break it down a little bit?
Yes, U.S.VETS is the largest provider of housing and support services to veterans and their families who are experiencing homelessness. We have over 24 residential sites and 9 community service centers across the country in 5 states and Washington, D.C. And so we provide everything from outreach on the streets to, of course, housing that's transitional and permanent housing, life skills training, employment assistance, counseling, case management, aftercare services, everything with the intention of meeting the veterans where they are, helping them to get into housing and stay in housing, and then never have to experience homelessness or recur to homelessness again.
And would you say that is the ultimate mission of U.S.VETS?
Absolutely. The mission is really to wrap support around them so that they can regain their independence and ultimately end veteran homelessness.
So why is this so important to you?
Well, I think, like I said, we recognize the service and the sacrifice of our military. So much that they do and their family sacrifice to have them serve our country and then come back, and that transition to civilian life can be so difficult, whether it's that they're unable to transition to employment, to transfer their skills from the military into a civilian job, or just the fact that they've experienced trauma while serving in the military and have had a hard time transitioning. We know that the statistics show that male veterans are 1.5 times more likely to become homeless than a non-veteran. And for females, it's almost 4 times more likely to become homeless than someone who did not serve in the military. So that alone speaks to the need to now support veterans when they need us, right? They were there for us when our country called. And I think it's so important for all of us to have to get behind them and support them when they need us in return.
And so it sounds like U.S.VETS covers many different avenues in order to help these homeless people on the streets.
Yes, absolutely. We really seek to provide comprehensive services. Over the years, and we've been established for now 28 years across the country, we have increased the services that we provide, learning from the veterans themselves. So in the very beginning, in the 90s, we were strictly providing transitional housing and a back to work program. Since then, we've expanded to all of the different layers of services that our veterans have shown us that they need, all the way even to prevention services. So no longer waiting until a veteran is homeless, but if a homeless veteran or their family comes to us in need because they're at risk of homelessness, facing eviction, we can actually step in with temporary financial assistance to avoid that. And then through all the way to aftercare case management, even after they've graduated our programs, providing case management while they're living in their own permanent housing to still continue to help them with that transition until they can fully be self-sufficient on their own. We're really just trying to create the conditions that will help them to succeed.
Absolutely. Switching gears just a little bit, Fox is supporting the Make Camo Your Cause campaign.
Yes, thank you.
A little bit about that as well.
Yes, we're very excited about this campaign. Really, it's our opportunity to spread awareness and get support for our programs. And it's through our Make Camo Your Cause campaign, which we have the vision of connecting Camo to what we do. So whenever you see Camo someday, we're hoping that people connect that to supporting and ending veteran homelessness, just as when you see pink, you often connect it to the breast cancer cause. So we do that and are asking the community to support us in 3 ways. And we're saying it's wear, share, or buy. So wear your own camo, wear it proudly, show that you're supporting a veteran, share it on our social. We have a hashtag honor U.S. vets, for everybody, asking everybody to get in camo, put your selfies on social media or pictures of you and your friends, or on Veterans Day, especially when there's a lot of veteran posts going on. Use that hashtag so it really catches on and people can start seeing that this is a campaign connected to ending veteran homelessness. And then buy. We actually have an online marketplace where people can get online through Amazon and order merchandise like the shirt that I'm wearing today with a Camo logo that says Honor U.S. Vet. There's different merchandise on there, shirts and tank tops, hoodies, bags, so that people can wear it. And at the same time, a portion of that proceeds will come back to serving our programs.
How can others, maybe not doing the Make Camo Your Cause campaign, get involved as well?
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to get involved with U.S. Vets. You know, now that Veterans Day is coming up, maybe it's on the top of people's minds, but we are around all year round. And on our residential facilities, people can support by donating things that veterans might need when they're in transition or even when they're in permanent housing. So that's, of course, things like clothing and food and other types of donations. They can support us by donating their money, of course, and we can buy the things that our programs need to meet all of the veterans' needs while living in the program. People can volunteer, they can serve on boards, they can come in, teach classes. I mean, we have a range of ways people can get involved directly with the veterans. And then, of course, you know, employers can also hire our veterans. So our veterans come with a strong work ethic from their training in the military, and it's a good investment when an employer wants to hire a veteran.
Absolutely. Also, looking forward, looking into the next decade, what do you hope that U.S. Vets achieves?
Well, you know, the ultimate goal is, in a business like ours, we're hoping to put ourselves out of business, right? We're hoping that someday this tragedy doesn't exist anymore, where veterans can come home and successfully transition back into civilian life and not have to experience homelessness. After that, we'll just continue to support them in housing and whatever they need from there. So we hope we achieve that. But, you know, getting there, there's a lot of steps to that. Our organization actually has helped to decrease the number of homeless veterans in the country over the last 5 years in some of our locations, especially up to even 50%. But our work remains unfinished until there are no more homeless veterans on the streets. And so what we know we need is more housing. So we actually have 8 new housing developments across the country coming up, so we can provide more housing in different communities to veterans as we see the need is growing. And, you know, we're just going to keep doing the services that we know work, which is service-enriched housing, to wrap around them all of the services that they need so that they don't have to become homeless.
That's awesome. Anything else that you would like to add that we haven't discussed?
I would say that, you know, there are so many services that our organization provides. Everything, as I mentioned, from outreach on the streets and connecting the veterans, connecting with them where they are, all the way through to helping them when they're in their own permanent housing. But there is not a single step that we do that doesn't involve the community. So the community support is so important to us, whether you're partnering with us to provide services, whether you're donating to us, whether you're wearing camo to spread awareness. We are just so grateful to have the community support, and we cannot do it without the community. So we hope more people will get involved on Veterans Day around this time, but also throughout the year, because our veterans need us.
Well, I'll be decked out in my camouflage on Veterans Day. So
good.
Shalimar Cabrera, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
I'm joined by the CEO of U.S.VETS, Steve Peck. Thank you for talking with me today.
My pleasure.
Let's start right at the very beginning. What made you want to get involved with veterans and then U.S.VETS?
Well, the short story is I was a Marine in Vietnam in 1969 and 70, and that is obviously a significant experience in anyone's life. I came back to the U.S., really bounced around for a while. I was quite disturbed by what I saw and did over there. So I eventually got into making documentary films. And I had a particular interest in homelessness. I did a couple of films about the homeless in the Tenderloin in San Francisco, and just thought there's something very, very wrong with people living on the streets of the richest country in the world. I subsequently found out that a third of homeless men at that time were veterans.
Wow.
So I made a short film about that and became an advocate. One thing led to another, and in 1993, I switched careers and became a social worker at the VA homeless program.
Well, and thank you for your service. So this must mean something to you, working on this cause in particular.
It is very meaningful. It really is a way that I can reconcile everything that has happened to me. I wasn't ever homeless, but I certainly feel a lot of compassion for veterans who come back who have difficulty finding their way. And what we do at U.S.VETS is give them one chance, two chances, three chances, however many chances they need. Once a veteran or anyone becomes homeless, they really have a big hill to climb. They became homeless for a number of reasons. Could have been substance abuse, could have been mental illness, combat trauma, tragedy in their lives. I mean, there's thousands of different stories. And we want to give them all the tools that they need to become productive again.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that more, because some people may not be familiar with U.S.VETS. Can you talk a little bit more about what you do and what your organization does?
U.S.VETS started in 1993 in Los Angeles, in Inglewood, California, because at that time, at the West LA VA hospital, 1/3 of all veterans in that hospital were going to be discharged to homelessness. And probably go right back to the neighborhoods they came from. And if they had a substance abuse problem, they were going to pick that up again. So there was this revolving door. We started our program so that veterans from the West LA came directly to us. We knew that we had to do more than just house them. We knew that they had other issues. So we provided counseling and employment assistance all at that site. And that really has been our model, to provide all of the tools that they need through our social workers, psychologists, our workforce employees, to help them regain the dignity of a productive life.
And why is this so important to you?
I think homelessness, and particularly homeless veterans, really is a stain on our country, and a lot of people don't know what to do about it. It's a big social problem. So if an ordinary person sees a homeless person on the street, they may ignore them. They're afraid to make eye contact with them because it's an embarrassment, really. Or they give them a little money, but it's so much more than that. It really is something that's lacking in our country. That we let people fall between the cracks and into homelessness. There's so much more that we can do if we only determine that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. And Fox is also supporting Make Camo Your Cause. Can you talk about that more?
Absolutely. We are very focused on the idea that this is a societal problem. We are glad to be the point of the spear. We will do the individual work to get the veterans off the street, but really it needs community support and national support. So we started Make Camo Your Cause as a way to reach out to the broader public. We want everyone to wear camo on Veterans Day to show support for veterans. There's a few colors that you associate with a particular cause. Pink is breast cancer. We would like to make camo a signal that you are supporting veterans, supporting homeless veterans. And if you go to our website, usvets.org, you can find a shop there where you can purchase something. But really, we want everyone to show their support for the work that we and others are doing to get homeless veterans off the street.
Yes, of course. I'll be getting out my camo on that day. But what other ways can people get involved as well?
U.S.VETS is in 11 different communities across the country. If you're in any of those communities, and you can see those on our website, we're everywhere from Hawaii to Washington, D.C., California, Arizona, Nevada. You can call and see how you can support that particular site. But there are a number of homeless programs around the country that do the kind of work that we do. And really the best way to address the issue is to engage with one of those nonprofits and see what it is they need, whether they need volunteers, whether they need money, whether they need political connections. That the political connections are important because we need communities to rethink their priorities so that they make funds available for homeless veterans to get off the street.
Looking forward, do you have any goals in particular in the next decade or so that you would like to see reached with U.S.VETS?
We started really as a service provider, and the housing we had was transitional housing, helping veterans gain those skills to allow them to be independent. We have since added affordable housing. We're building hundreds and hundreds of units of affordable housing, so people, veterans, have a place to stay that doesn't cost more than half their income. But also, if we are going to end homelessness, we have to prevent veterans from becoming homeless in the first place. So we've started a number of prevention programs, providing mental health assistance, employment assistance, trying to catch those veterans on their way down. It is so much more humane and so much less expensive to intervene early so that they don't become homeless in the first place. We're reaching out to women veterans. Women veterans are more and more engaged in combat. More of them are becoming homeless. They're suffering military sexual trauma, way too many of them. Too many of them are contemplating suicide. So we want to reach out to that population early so that if we do our job right and create enough affordable housing so that veterans can live in a decent, safe home and bolster our prevention program, maybe we can really reduce the numbers considerably so that every veteran who becomes homeless immediately has help available.
Do you have any thoughts on the homeless issue in Los Angeles County?
Los Angeles County, unfortunately, is the homeless capital of the country. 1 out of every 10 homeless veterans lives in Los Angeles County. We have a dramatic answer to that. We are a partner in the construction of 1,200 units of housing at the West Los Angeles VA Medical Center. It's a large center. There's 80 acres there where we are renovating the existing buildings and building new buildings, creating 1,200 units of affordable housing, along with those services. The services are so important. So we will be providing services both to the veterans on campus and homeless prevention services and other services to homeless veterans off campus, so that we really are going to have a dramatic impact on the number of homeless veterans in LA.
That's great. Is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you would like to add?
I think we've discussed most of it. We adjust our programs as demographics change. Obviously, the programs we're providing now are different than the ones we provided 28 years ago when we started. So we will continue to look at who's out there and what the needs are and adjust our programs accordingly, so we can end this scourge of homeless veterans in this country.
Well, Steve Peck, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate your time.